Hey everybody, happy Tuesday. Feels like a Monday because the stock market took a day off for Juneteenth.
All about
Uh,
that.
so yeah, it was kind of hard to sit around and not trade. So I was kind of anxious this morning. Um, Quite the drop we had. And I'll get to that in a moment, um, and show you an interesting thing on the SPY. Because I was in the SPY twice, and I have to apologize because I didn't post till later in the afternoon. Um, but I was short the SPY almost. Well, I made a double, almost made a triple, and then I took some of that profit to go short again, which in my post said, this is a lotto, and it unfortunately didn't work out. But I was okay losing 100% of that because 100% of that was some of the profit from my earlier short. Um, I started the day watching the 5 minute app. I think Google was the one to trigger long, um, which is right in here. And when I looked at the app, that opening range is 0.79%. So it was pretty much a tight opening range. And that's why I went bullish on the open. Got out shortly after this drop below here. And I didn't kind of reverse and go short. I probably should have because this was quite the drop. And if you notice, so this is the 5 minute high. We had a wick above the 5 minute high, but after we dropped below it, we never closed above it again. Um, it'll be
Hey, you do
interesting.
remember the rule, Brian, is you got to always sell at 10 and wait.
Oh, look at that. My fidelity thing jumped around. So
Yeah, but the key thing is that
yeah,
because it's always going to reverse at 10, the rule is sell at 10 and wait and see what the stock is doing.
yeah. Well, and here would have been, so it dropped below the 5 minute. It it retraced, came back up towards the 5 minute, and that would have been a good short right there. Um,
Yeah,
Someone else,
as soon as it broke the 5 minute high, it was a short. And I was short Google today, and then I got out about 11:30.
yeah, which is in this range kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, Another one that someone turned me on to was Carvana. Um, Bullish on it, um,
Wow. Big drop
which
today.
is interesting. Yeah, and this was another one that had this initial open in the first 30 minutes. Um, when this one dropped and I got out of this one kind of around here, I think, with the loss. And if you don't want to put in numbers, I lost 20% on GOOG. I lost like 25% um, on Carvana. Um, and then as soon as I hit those two losses, I went short the SPY. Um, Now, and a couple of reasons why I did that. I saw a post from someone that I follow, um, mentioning a a dark cloud cover, which is a bearish signal, which I'll get into in a little bit. Um, but I wish I would have wrote down my time on when I entered the SPY. Um, but again,
Can, can
if
you
you look,
bring up the 20-day SMA on 3 months?
yeah, yeah, I'll get there in a second. So the SPY, this opening candle is 0.23%. So another tight opening wick. Um, so, and like I said, I wish I would have wrote down my times that I entered. But I believe it was right before it broke the 5 low. And I believe I got out here during this candle. And there was my 170%, which basically paid for my earlier losses, and allowed me, I think I tried to go short here and it never dropped below this 437. Um, so now let's go look at this on the 3 month, and there are a couple things, and how do I remove these drawings? This is not going to let me today. 5 minute. Oh, right click, not double click. Okay, back to the 3 month. Back to, actually, you know what? I have a saved chart for that, moving average. So here's the 20-day. Is this the 3 month? Okay, here's the 20-day SMA on the 3 month chart. So yes, we are, and this 6:15 was Thursday. This was Friday, and this was Tuesday. We had this gap down. But like I said, I saw a post this morning from someone that I follow about this, a dark cloud cover. It's a bearish reversal candlestick, and it kind of explains it. You can go to like Investopedia and search for it. But basically what it says on this chart is you have a very bullish candle, and then you have a bearish candle that's somewhat lower. And this red candle here is confirmation that it's bearish. You know, if we would have closed green, that may have not been a confirmation of this pattern. But this pattern right here is kind of a topping or reversal kind of position. And that's why I leaned short before the market even opened. We were down, I think, 386 in after hours. Yeah, 436. So we're below 437. We're down a little bit. My take on this is that was a pretty huge gap down. I I wouldn't be surprised if people try to take profit or people try to sell their shorts and push the market up, or we gap up a little bit. But this pattern and being this far away from the 20 SMA, and it's funny, I keep saying I'd be bullish, or I mean I'd be bearish, but I was bearish last week and got my you know what handed to me. So I I still want to say that I'm bearish, but I'm cautiously bearish. You know, we mentioned the, mid-June sell-off. Maybe it's a week late, um, but I'm I'm not going to put any positions on today, tonight to hold overnight and to put my money where my mouth is, saying I'm bearish. But when the market opens and I'm watching that 5 minute range, I'm going to kind of lean bearish on my trades. Um, I'm going to leave it at that. I'll let Alan kind of talk about his thoughts on the market, what he traded, that sort of thing. I think the Dow was down too, down 250 points. Let's see here. Europe. The DAX was down 0.5 and we're
And
down
then on
0.72.
Monday, the DAX was open on Monday. The DAX was down 1% on Monday.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what carried over to our markets.
Yeah, because you got to remember, we follow the DAX. If you think about the sun rising, it rises in the east. So Asia comes first, and then Europe, and then as it comes over to the U.S., we're kind of like the laggards or the market that opens last. And there is some overlap in the DAX and the US, where both markets are open. But yeah, so that's another thing to kind of watch um, as far as
So what
positions.
happened last week? I was indicating to everybody that it should have been a down week, and I was going short. Now, lucky for me, I never like to go ahead and be all in. So what I did is I still went ahead and I would do like 3 or 4 puts and then one call. So you always kind of want to have one position going the other way in case you're wrong. Now, if you follow, bring up Raytheon. So Raytheon was a classic example. This is the Dow right here.
Hmm.
Now, if you bring up a 5-day chart, is
So
that
this
5 day?
5 day, 5 minute, yeah.
Yeah, see, look what happened. Look at the high right there. It was $102. So
So
102 to 96 in like 3 day period. That's huge. That's a $6 drop.
yeah, or
So
just 5, 6%.
yeah, I mean that's a lot. So the thing is that we were right on our assumption of going down. The thing that is that what really caused the market to do what it did is the Fed. The Fed went ahead and the market was bullish going in the beginning of the week because on the Fed they were expecting things to go up. You know that they were going to not do the 1/4% raise. So with that, that's what pushed the markets up in the beginning of the week. And then
Yeah,
after the news was out that there's not going to be any, increase in the rates, um, it was sell the news and the things went down. Now, I'll give you a classic example. Bud Light, I was in last week. Should have made 8,000 on it, but it didn't work out because I sold it a little bit early. But you'll see something right on here. If you bring up like, oh, there you go. That's the chart. You notice what it did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 days in a row, like it pretty much went up. And then what happened on Friday, it went ahead and it took back almost $1.50. You can see where it went up, then down. So that was my green light to go short 50 contracts of Bud Light. I got those at an embarrassing amount because what it is I bought them when Bud Light hit its high on Friday. And
yeah,
then I went ahead and I carried it and got in at extremely good rate. And we're able to go ahead and sell it for almost it's probably right around $3,500. But you know, the key thing is that you can see the top of that candle on Friday. See that
mm,
top right there? That's why I bought it.
yeah. 59.14. And if
Yeah,
you look, this is another pattern. I mean, this is that same pattern that this doesn't really show us well. You're up, green candle, red candle that doesn't close below the day before, and then you have another red candle. Um, so yeah, so these are kind of um, reversal signals that we kind of are kind of rolling over. Um,
yeah. So we should see 1,000 point drop in the next week. Should. Now, whether we do or not, that it depends on what the market itself. But we should go ahead and I think it'll start up tomorrow, and then I'm going to go short, and then do it again. But Mastercard, I was short on Mastercard on Friday. That thing, I think it was. Yeah, go ahead and bring up Mastercard. Now this was a end of the day play. You got Fridays
today,
up.
5 minutes. So this is Friday,
You see
6:16.
that? Now that's your standard pattern. you go short the market after 10 o'clock. What a beautiful drop.
Yeah, which is right here.
So to kind of give you an idea, 10 contracts of MasterCard was 150 bucks. $150. That's why I like MasterCard, because it doesn't move a lot. And the thing is that you see the drop.
Yeah,
That's how
right.
you have to be thinking. Get in a couple trades, and you want to get short after 10 o'clock, and then but you want something that you want to be in a sector that it's moving. In this case, the financials move real well. So
Yeah. Okie doke. So yeah, look to maybe some buying in the open and then continue to drop. Because again, bullish, bearish, bearish. We're seeing that same, and again, it's the dark cloud cover.
and this is normal this time of year. It was explained to me, and I learned it a lot when I was in New York City. And the thing is that the people that the stock market way back when was only for people that had a lot of money. And so what it is that they're the only ones that were able to trade it, get seats at the exchange, all that stuff. That in the summertime, they all had, places in the Hamptons and stuff. And so what it is that they would sell their positions, spend time with their family till after 4th of July and come back to New York City. And the pattern still seems to go ahead and be there. So
Yeah, interesting.
yeah.
Well, we'll leave the market at that. I am still working on getting news into the 5-minute app. Basically, on your opening screen, you click a stock ticker and it'll tell you news for the past however many days that you choose. Because I like to follow news before the market. I watch CNBC, or I don't watch. I try to read CNBC. Lately, I've been into Business Insider, which does have some market news. So I would like to get that news piece of it into the app as well. Maybe give me another week or so. But like I said, I used the 5-minute app today. I looked at the opening candle percentages because the last thing you want to do is go into a stock that has a huge opening range and then just kind of trends there. So,
You are
um,
into something on news. The number one thing that they use on the New York Stock Exchange is the Motley Fool,
hmm,
and because what they're doing is that they're dialing in on the news, because news is what moves the stock.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, so keep going with that.
Yeah.
And then Brian's done some wonderful work on WordPress on the website. Check it out. Kudos.
Yep.
You get a pay raise.
options options trading today .com. So go check that out. So
Sweet. Good
talks about
job on
how we
that.
trade. So yeah. Well, I got to split. If you guys have a great rest of the week. Thank you, Alan, for sharing your thoughts. As always, reach out, post in the Facebook group, message me if you'd like. I like getting those Facebook messages about what stocks you guys are watching or thoughts on market, that sort of thing. I have tossed around an idea of having like a pre-market open all hands Zoom call to kind of discuss things. Haven't quite got there yet, but that might be on the horizon as well. So, because I think the more opinions you have, the better you're geared up for market trading. So, with that, everybody have a good night. We'll talk to you guys later. Bye, everyone.
All right. Let's see, Brian.